Hi team, welcome to my session on Coffee with Prab and thanks for sharing a great response on my past 3 videos. In this video, we're going to discuss about a gap assessment, which is a next step, because once you finalize a scope and you created a context document and all that, the next thing what we have to do is we have to create a gap assessment where we are and what we need to implement. And primarily, we are doing a gap assessment based on clause 4 to 10. How to do gap assessment, how to prepare the gap analysis report, everything is going to cover in this particular video. If you're new to the channel, do subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss my future videos on a similar topic. So without wasting a time, let's start with the first part. Thank you. So team, when we're talking about gap assessment, we mostly do against the clause 4 to 10. And if you're looking for the holistic perspective, you can do gap assessment including your annexure also. See, a lot of readers talk about you do gap assessment, but no one talk about how to do that. What is an evidence we have to ask? So that's something we're going to cover here. See, gap assessment is identify the gaps between your current information security practice and the requirement of 27001. So if you take an example, like, you starting implementing a 27001 in the organization. Okay, so you have to use some benchmark. So you're going to use a benchmark, which is called 27001 clause 4 to 10. So your minimum thing is that as per the clause 4 to 10, what you can see in the slide, that at least should be there in the organization. Okay, here you can see 27001 4 to 10 clause we have. So we will actually check whether this is there or not. So current state, what we have, and desired state, we need all the clause 4 to 10 because that's something required to pass the audit. So by doing a gap assessment, we can able to highlight the area where organization does not meet the ISO 27001 requirement. Now I've seen a lot of people get confused. Gap assessment we have to do first or risk assessment? Actually, risk assessment and the treatment process is also one of the clause of between the 4 to 10, which is called clause 6. So in the gap assessment, we also verify, do you have a risk assessment process? Okay, so the outcome of gap assessment generate a gap analysis report. I will show you the sample of that, which highlight the area where organization does not meet and which help me to implement the respective control. On the other side, the risk assessment help you to identify, analyze the risk. You can proactively address the threat and vulnerability and reduce the impact with the help of risk assessment reports. Okay, so first we do gap assessment. In that gap assessment, we also verify, do you have a risk assessment process? And then we'll try to do the further thing. So the question is sequential process. So first we do gap assessment because it's clearly mentioned. It is typically performed before risk assessment, because gap assessment help you to understand where our organization stand concerning the standard requirement, and risk assessment required by ISO 27001 clause 6.1.2 as a part of a planning process. So interdependency is that gap assessment finding may reveal the lack of formal risk assessment process also, which is a gap that need to be addressed. On the other side, risk assessment will inform which annexure control are applicable, because we have annexures also and we are implementing annexure with the help of risk assessment in the system. So that something is part of the requirement. Now question is why we need to do the gap assessment first. Because see, once the scope is defined, you know exactly which area, process, assets need to be assessed, because we have a very limited time, right? So gap analysis will focus on the thing which is relevant. With the help of gap assessment, you can identify gaps early, which allow you to plan your implementation more effectively, and you can able to prioritize the action based on the significance of the gap that we found. Along with that, we also understand where the gaps are help in allocating resources, like what is the time, what is the budget, what are the people are involved, and more efficiently we can able to address those things effectively. Now question is basically how to conduct a gap assessment. So in the gap assessment, the first thing, we review the documentation. Okay, like as per the clause, we need a policy. Do we have a policy? So in the review documentation, we examine the policies, procedures, records related to the information security. We also interview the stakeholders. We speak with the department heads and staff to understand the current practices what we have in the system. The third part is called we assess the control. We evaluate the existing controls against those specified in the Annexure A 27001. Please note 27001 standard doesn't say, okay, you have to do the initial assessment as per the annexure. It is always recommended if you do the annexure implementation as per the risk assessment. And fourth, we document the finding and highlight the area of compliance. So we have some sample scripts which gives you the better visibility. So let's say example, I have a clause 4. I want to verify the organization context is there in the system. So activity, what I'm going to do is I will identify the external internal issues which affecting the ISMS, and we list the interested parties and requirement. That is the activity we have to do. Now question is what I need to assess. I have to check is anything has been documented, whether internal and external issues has been documented on any email. So by this way, I can able to verify clause 4 is there. Now let's say example, we have a clause 5, evaluate the leadership and commitment. So how to confirm that leadership and commitment is been followed. So I will check if the top management is actively involved in ISMS, and we also verify if information security policy exists. Is communicated. For that, I'm going to assess the level of management support. So with this particular thing, as I said, gap assessment we'll do on the mandatory clause, which is 4 to 10, which is a core part of ISMS, and Annexure A is not mandatory, but they serve as a catalog of security controls that you should consider during a risk treatment process. And that's something you can do after the risk assessment process. Okay, so let me show you the ISMS gap assessment process. So you will basically get a visibility. So team, when you're creating a gap assessment document, what you need is you can organize that in this context. Okay, clause 4, clause 5, clause 6, clause 7. Then we have a clause 8, we have a clause 9, and we have a clause 10. So this is the clauses we have. Now here you can see this is the clause 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, and this is the requirement, like determine the ISMS objective, identify the stakeholders, define the boundary, and establish and maintain the ISMS. Now we have to verify do they have this or not. So what is the document I need? I need some document analysis of the internal external issues. I need a list of interested parties. I need ISMS scope document. I found the ISMS framework documentation. Now what I need, so as I said, I have shown you in my previous video, there is a one document we prepare is ISMS context document. If it's not there, it means that is not a document. So here, if I want to verify is the internal external issues has been discussed regarding information security, I will ask for the minutes of meetings, because that give me visibility about their interest. So I will check, does the requirement met? The answer is no. So I will mention no. Okay, communication record, do they have? No. Can I get a approved email of scoping of ISMS? No, they don't have. Do they have any kind of a document evidence of ISMS implementation process map? No. So it means clause 4 is not met. That's something we have to build. Now next is basically we have us leadership, which is called clause 5, top management demonstrate leadership commitment. So I want some kind of minutes of meeting which approving and stating we need a information security. I don't find any email regarding that. Then I want a policy, sign off policy of email as an attachment. I could not find that. So it means I need a policy to be implemented. Now I cannot see any talking about organization chart. They have a chart, but it has not been signed off. It is not addressing anything about information security. So I will select no. So this is how I cannot simply say, do you have that or not? I will verify. If they're saying we have that, we will check. Can you show me the document? So document should be accurate. Now on the other part, we have a next thing called planning. So planning has a clause like plan action to address risk and opportunity. So the document we need to meet this requirement is risk assessment methodology. So I will check, do you have a risk assessment schedule? Do you have a risk assessment documentation? So I could not find. Establish and implement risk management process. So for that we need a methodology. We need a appropriate risk register. Risk register is basically mean a centralized document which document all the current risk. So I will check. I could not find. Do you have a treatment controls and everything? So that mean, do you have a SOA and all that? I couldn't find any SOA. It mean I have to build SOA from a scratch. Okay. Then do you have any kind of a document which address information security objectives and all that? I could not find anything about minutes of meeting discussion around that area. It is not necessary you need a document, but even the minutes of meeting discussion from management about information security objective can be documented as an evidence. Now we're going for the clause 7, which is called support. Like we need to determine and provide necessary resource for ISMS. So I want some kind of a meeting records talk about this is the necessary resource will be allocated for the ISMS. So I want budget document, resource plan. People should be attend training, so I need attendance records and all that. That's called training certificate has been issued. Okay, person must be aware of information security policy, so we need a minutes of meeting record for that, or staff acknowledgement. So this is how I documented the evidence for that. Then we have operations, plan, implement, control the process to meet the ISMS. So we need kind of RFC logs. So by RFC, I can basically document that can be used, perform a risk assessment. So I can see the minutes of meeting communication has been sent, risk assessment report has been sent, the dates that can be used as an evidence, and treatment plan. So same, you can see all those things are basically there. You need to keep it simple. You cannot have a too many. I have seen a lot of white paper, they say list of questions. No, any document, any evidence which can meet your document requirement, that's it. So this is something I did, which is called clause 4 to 10 I prepared, and based on this clause 4 to 10 I basically do the gap assessment. Now once I did with this gap assessment, I will prepare the gap analysis report. Okay, let me show you that also. So I skip the introduction part. In the introduction you can mention ISMS gap assessment report. So your report should include introduction, purpose, executive summary, what is the methodology used, detail finding, recommendation, conclusion. So first part we say purpose. So we're giving a purpose that okay, gap assessment is to evaluate aspirant. You can use the same content. Assessment, identify organization meet the standard with highlight gaps. Okay. Scope of assessment, we pick the same scope what we had document the scope context document, like all department involved in consulting and all that, and standard is 4 to 10. If you're adding annexure, you can add annexure also, like annexure 1 to 92. That is also possible. Right now I did the assessment based on 4 to 10. I document that only. So first I will talk about the summary. This assessment, so again you can copy paste this. Most of the document will have a same. It is good if you can document this, otherwise it's not required. Okay, one thing you need to understand is you need to give a high level. So if they don't have a scoping document, there's no policy. These are the two major gaps we have. Okay, so these are some of the, so like absence of risk assessment methodology, no information security policy objectives, incomplete documentation policy, no internal audit program. So these are the major gap has been identified. Now it's up to you. You can document and organize in a form of table, or you can reflect this as a high level things. This is something you can keep it as the same. There's no difference. Then we talk about how we did the methodology, that we did the document review, on-site observations, and gap analysis checklist. Again, you can copy paste this, and you can also explain how you document that, fully meet, partially, and all that. So this section also you can keep it as the same. Okay, now we have a detail finding. So you give the category called subclause. Okay, so subclause is there, compliance, finding, and recommendation. So clause 4 is 4.1. So P mean, here we giving justification. What does a P mean? Partially compliant, meet some aspect but not fully. Fine. So I'm talking about the finding here, internal external issue affecting information not formally documented. Recommendation is document detail required. Fine. N basically mean is non-compliant, does not meet. So we have given example is understand need and expectation, no formal identification of parties. Fine. Determine scope, not was there. So I did that. Leadership commitment was there. Policy, no policy. You don't need to narrate the entire details to your finding. Keep it simple. If you find no policy, recommended develop a policy. Keep it simple English. Your recommendations of finding, whatever we have your finding, you will provide your finding and you will provide your recommendations. Okay. Action plan on that will be done by the management. Now here you can see information security risk assessment. So no documented methodology has been performed. So what we have to develop the risk assessment methodology, and we need a document for that. No risk treatment SOIZ is the developer. So keep it simple English. I'm not articulating a detailed English here. So this is how. And then we're giving a total detail. Okay, clause 4 to 10, 0 is compliant, 2 is partially, 34 is non-compliant, and next year is 5 are compliant, 10 is partially, and 17 non-compliant. That's something I did. Then I give my recommendations. Okay, priority wise, we need a policy and risk assessment, because now it's up to you. You want to give recommendation, it's up to you. Otherwise you can skip that. It's not mandatory. Okay. and then I talk about the conclusion. You can copy paste the same. So this is how you create a gap analysis sheet. Okay, and then you're talking about the appendix. Okay, that something is there, compliance status, and a list of document you have reviewed from where you got the visibility, and interview that you have conducted. You can also document that details also. So this is how you create a gap analysis report. Okay, this is how you create a gap analysis report. Now here the point is the tips for effective gap analysis. Be practical. Okay, that's the most important part. Be practical. That's a most important part we have. You have to be very practical. Focus on the area that are within the scope. Don't get bogged down by non-essential things. Don't do that. It is a stupidity. Okay, engage stakeholders. That's the most important part. Okay, involve the department heads, key people. Okay, their inputs provide valuable insights and they promote buy-in. Use a clear criteria. I told you, right? Clear criteria like compliant, partial compliant, non-compliant. That should be the consistency. Maintain the objectivity. Maintain the objectivity means assess based on evidence, not assumption. Okay, document the findings. And more important, you should prioritize the risk. Okay, not all gaps are equal, so focus on those with the highest impact. I've shown you, right? Policy risk assessment is the first priority. That something is there. So my recommendation is that don't skip the gap assessment because it is crucial for successful ISMS implementation, and let it guide your effort in a subsequent clauses. Engage stakeholder, and most important, document everything. Okay, document everything. That's a most important part we have. Okay, you have to do this. Okay, so best practice is address the compliance 4 to 10. Then once you're done with that, do the risk assessment to assess the compliance with annexure, because might be for my company that control is required, for your company doesn't require. And why I follow this approach, because since the selection annexure can depend on the risk identified, risk process itself will become under the gap assessment. So that's why I never follow annexure in the gap assessment. Might be from that company that control is not required. For me, other control is required. That visibility I will get from the risk assessment. So once you done the gap assessment, second next step is gap analysis report. After that, create a security policy, and then dump to the clause 6 risk assessment. That something is a part of the function. That's why we say objective is assemble the team, gather the documentation, then verify all the clauses, identify the area where the requirement are met or gap is exist. Okay, so that something is there. So important pointer is you cannot fully assess the annexure controls. During a gap assessment, note the absence. After conducting a risk assessment, you can select and implement the control. That something is there. Okay. So this is how you can able to plan things. And once you done with that, present the gap analysis finding, obtain the commitment, document the commitment, and maintain the commitment. That's a overall step we have. So this is how we do end-to-end thing. In my next video, we're going to discuss about how to create a policy. Okay. And why we include the component in the policy. So that something is my next video, which I'm planning to release. Do let me know, how do you find this video, and how do you find the series? Do you find this series different from other what you have seen in past? And do share your suggestions, which help me to improve my content. Okay. Good day. Bye.